this is a bit silly, isn't it? I don't know how we've got in this position, but I am totally here for it. Behind me are two absolute icons, two rally thoroughbreds. The Ford Escort RS Cosworth Phase 2 to be exact, and the Lancia Delta HF Integrale Evo 2. They both had lots of success. One of them a lot more than the other, but they didn't actually get to meet on the WRC circuit, the World Rally Championship, because Lancia pulled out in around 1992. And the Escort Cosworth only really got going officially in 1993, so they didn't overlap. So which one is better? We've seen a lot of stuff on the internet saying conflicting things, but when do you actually get the chance to put them both head to head, back to back, and see what really is the best? Side of the Lancia, it's you've got a mixture of 80s and 90s. The gear stick, it is literally like the Lego lever you get when you're playing Lego when you're little. It's exactly the same detail. There's a bit of carbon fibre around it as well, so you know you're in a performance car. And the colours, you cannot ignore the colours. There's beige. When do you see beige nowadays? That is so 90s. Suede, Alcantara-y maybe, perforation down here as well. And this one, because it's really clean and been extremely well looked after, this is the best example I've ever seen. Still got the plastic polythene places as well, so it's really cool. The plastics as well, similar to the Cosworth. Are they premium? Are they budget? I'll let you decide on that, but I'm sure you can hear the rattles. But it just all adds to the character of this thing. It's just brilliant. Now we're on the inside of the Escort RS Cosworth. Instantly, as soon as I've got in, I've been hit by a wall of smell, and it just smells like a Ford. Like, if you know, you know, but it's just bringing back all these memories. Because this is a Phase 2, got the airbag steering wheel, which I've said before, looks like an upside down potato smiley, but I'm here for it. It's good. It's typical Ford. Up top, you've got some gauges as well. You've got boost gauge, oil pressure, and the seats. I'm probably going to upset a few people, but I prefer the cloth ones. This Ford leather, it's a slippery beast. They are very supportive. Obviously, they are sporty race seats in the Cosworth, but it doesn't feel like real leather. It just hasn't aged very well. But that's just my opinion. Everything in here screams 90s. The plastic, even the leather, smell, everything. The colours as well. But all in all, it's just, they still feel very well built. They feel tight. Both of these cars, so the Escort Cosworth is on 58,000 miles. Lancia is on about 60,000 kilometres. There's not too much in them, about 15,000 miles difference, but they've both been very well looked after, and that all comes together in the condition of everything. There's no wear on anything. It just feels like it's left the showroom, and it's just, I was extremely young in the 90s, but this is definitely taking me back there. And on the outside of the car, it's aesthetics, it's all about business, the rally business to be exact. So you've got wider arches, that's to get the wheels out further, so it will handle a lot better in the corners. You can take a lot more speed through there. Because it's an Evo 2, you've got an adjustable rear spoiler, and obviously because this is a rally thoroughbred, it's in full attack mode at the moment, which you need to let everybody know on the road that you are, you know, obviously in a rally car, come on. You've got vents everywhere, grills everywhere, that's to get the air in and get it out and get the nice cold air flowing to aid the cooling. Literally everything is about function. And how do you build on perfection? You're right, you lower it and put bigger wheels on. So that's exactly what this has got. This usually came with 16-inch wheels. Now we've got 17-inch wheels. It's on BC coilovers. It looks absolutely unreal. Now we should probably have a look at the Ford. So the Ford Escort RS Cosworth, like the Lancia, is based on a base car. So here is Escort, and then the rest is obviously Cosworth. So what we're dealing with, you cannot ignore the elephant in the room, the whale tail spoiler. This is actually the first production car with proven aero, is the Escort RS Cosworth. And did you know these were actually supposed to have 2 of these blades, but Ford ditched it because they said it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. What do you think? I think too many look like louvres, but that is timeless classic. And obviously, like the Lancia, it is wider to get a wider track, make it more stable. You've got bubble bumpers, obviously different front skirts as well, so they flow into these massive boxy front arches as well. And here, vents, grills, air in, air out, cooler engine, good stuff. And obviously, to make it look even better, bigger wheels, copper motives, lowerings, and it just looks, it's timeless, looks perfect. Everything is about function. So performance-wise, the Escort Cosworth, 2-litre turbocharged unit, 4 cylinders. In the Cosworth, the engine's mounted lengthways in the car, so then you've got the gearbox hanging off the back of it. That obviously encroaches into the room in the car a little bit, especially on a right-hand drive car, because the transfer box comes out this way. So I do have a lump by my feet, which is fine. Doesn't cause any issues. Out the factory, these were between 205 and 227 horsepower, depending on whether you got a phase 1 or a phase 2. Obviously, this one's had a bit of fettling, shall we say. So different injectors. What else have we got? Stainless steel exhaust system. This is, even though this is a phase 2, so small turbo version, it's now got a big turbo from the earlier model. And all of that put together with a lovely little tune, and we got 300 horsepower, which is really healthy. These YB engines are extremely tunable. 5-speed gearbox as well, it's nice and tight. You do have a long throw on it, again typical Ford, but it's direct, so you know what gear you're in. There's no second guessing anything. And the steering feels lovely. Again, because this is a low mileage example. These do actually have a rubber bushing in the steering column, which does get tired with age, and then that gives you a bit of a vague, sloppy feel in the steering, but this is just really direct. And obviously being on gas coilovers as well, it's recently had full race alignment. Like the Lancia as well, it's more rear-wheel drive biased, so I think they're about 38% front, but they're just awesome. They're such a good car. They're so much fun to drive. When you get a good one, they're just addictive. You just want to hook gears, stitch corners, and make noises. And performance-wise, like the Escort Cosworth, it's got a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, 5-speed gearbox, 4-wheel drive, and bit more torque split to the rear, because that's what you want in rallying. However, in this one, the engine's transverse, so the engine goes across that way, sorry. Gearbox on the side, then it wraps around to a transfer box at the back, and that gives you lots more leg room in here. Out the box, around 220 horsepower, and in standard format, like this, it's not shouty, there's not loads of noise, there's just a nice little exhaust undertone. And to get it onto boost, it starts coming onto boost around 3,000 RPM and really starts building up and over that. You really do have to drive it, like ring it a little bit to get that power, because the turbo just pulls all the way up to the red line. This party piece is just a grip. It's such a well balanced car, and you can feel how it's just handles better because of the width of it as well, and how short it is. And the gear shifts really showing up the Escort Cosworth. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they're just so positive. There's so much feedback. The throw isn't very long, and it's just trying to describe what it's like. It is kind of like loading a gun. It's just lovely. Everything about this car is addictive. The steering feels just awesome. The pedal setup's perfect, like I'm heel towing absolutely fine. Left foot braking might be a little bit of a different story because the pedals are slightly offset. And the seating position as well, I'm so much lower and I just feel more part of the car. Like I feel a lot more confident in this. The steering feedback's just awesome. The brake feel, like the power delivery in this as well, like it's, although it's old tech, it's pretty linear. When you've got it up onto boost and it starts to make boost, it's got that much grip, and that power bracket as well just means you can throw it into any corner at any speed, hit the boost just at the right point, just at the apex. So build it just for the apex so you launch straight out of it. So how was this car conceived? In 1986, there was a thing in rallying called Group B. However, in 1986, there's a lot of big crashes and Group B was canned. At that point, Peugeot with the T16 205 were dominating. Lancia had the S4 and they had some wins, but the Peugeot was just the one. However, when Group B was canned, Lancia were very proactive. They thought, right, we need a small car, we need to put four-wheel drive in it, and obviously race it up, give it some aero, and the Lancia Delta HF Integrale was born. And to prove what a winning combination it was, it won its first rally, straight out of the box, the San Remo Rally. And from then, it won a lot. It won the Manufacturers' Championship in the WRC 6 years running, and you can feel it. You can feel the heritage in all of it, all its refinement. It's just spot on. Really does show up the Cosworth. It really does. And this has got less power than that one, but as a package, everything's just feels a lot. I know it's hard to believe as a Lancia, but it just feels a lot better engineered. It feels a lot better thought out. It feels like a winning car. It's a real pinch myself moment today. I had a duvet set which my mum bought me as a child that had WRC Cosworth on it, which was going full broadside in the snow, and a Lancia Delta in martini colours, full send. And now we're out driving them. It's mental. I'm teary behind here. Like, this is just, I don't know. So it's one of those moments which just feels so special. So as we said earlier in the video at the start, the Ford actually came after the Lancia. When Group B was canned, the RS200, the godly RS200, never got to make its mark on the Rally Championship. Granted, it could run a restrictor and run less power, but it just got shelved. So they went to the Sierra Cosworth, which was a rear-wheel drive beast. Why they stayed rear-wheel drive, I'm not sure. Later on, they did go to four-wheel drive, but the Sierra was just too big. It was a long car. It was a long old girl, and that's not what you need for rallying. It was just too heavy. So in the background, they had the Escort, and in the early days, so from 89 to 92, Ford actually got the Sierra XR 4x4 floor pan drivetrain and grafted it into the Escort. These were actually Q-plate cars, the early Escort RS Cosworths. They weren't actually a car at that point, they were technically a kit car. And obviously to go rallying, you had to produce 2,500 units of the car you wanted to go rallying with. So in 1993, all of that come together, and the Escort RS Cosworth officially was bought. So how did the Escort RS Cosworth do? It came at a time when Japanese cars started to infiltrate the rally scene. So the Celica, later on the Impreza, and then the Mitsubishi Evo. All these cars were a lot lighter, had a lot more tech in, and the Escort RS Cosworth soon got old hat, even though it had rally greats like Juha Kankinen. These roads are so good. Carlos Sainz, who also drove the Lancia, I think a total of 8 WRC wins, but no WRC championship. They just didn't get it. So what really is better? What position to be in to be able to drive like two such iconic cars that are like really iconic for me, like really iconic. I'm going to upset the internet. I'm going to upset a lot of car journalists. What's better? The Lancia, just as a package, how it looks, it's just everything. Everything is about business, it's about function. And that's what a rally car should be. That is what it should be. It's just that amount of leeriness, but you can still see the original car underneath. Granted, the Escort Cosworth does, and I say this with a heavy heart, like I'm a Ford man, I really am. But above that, I'm a rally man, and the Lancia is just the absolute one. What a thing. Like, look at it. Look at it. But they're two very, very special things, extremely special. And I'll happily fight any car journalist who says the Cosworth's better. I mean, this one's got more power, and it is pokey. It feels great. It feels great. It feels absolutely awesome. It looks amazing. But the Lancia's just that bit better out the box. I mean, that's only 220 horsepower in comparison to that, but it's so much more involving to drive. It's more raw. You can feel exactly what the car's doing. You feel like part of the car. With the Escort Cosworth, it's a bit more numb. It's not so direct. And any performance car, any race car, anything like that, that's what you want. Do you agree with me? What do you think? Like, this has been a very, very hard decision, extremely hard decision. Because as I said, I'm a Ford guy. But above that, I'm a rally man. And on the right is the better out of the two. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for Dream Cars for letting me do this. Going again. How's this real? Thank you.